Hello to everyone who is interested in parenting and in early childhood education. Today I'd like to address a topic that has been coming to my notice now over and over again. So I really thought it's important that we all know about it. So I hear more and more doctors and also researchers speaking about something that's called Pseudo-Autism. So the question is, what is Pseudo-Autism and when does it become visible? So what happens is that nowadays doctors become 2-year-old children to look at them because it seems that something is not really as it should be. So like educators and teachers are actually really seeing this already since a very long time. It's not just coming up now. So since about 3 to 5 years, I hear teachers always telling me, early childhood teachers, that very young children already, it seems they can't interact with each other. So what makes it, or what happens actually in what becomes visible to us as educators and as teachers, which is very important also that parents are aware, because parents are the key also to help us to do something about it. So what is it? So one is, we can see that children have a limited creativity. Like, let's say, just on Tuesday there was a teacher in my workshop and she was really saying something very amazing. She said, her name was Sabine, and she said, at a time 20 years back, when we had a very strict schedule and we were doing one after one after one, we saw the creativity of the children. We saw that they had so many ideas, but we couldn't provide them the time to really do something with it. Now, as we put impulses, as we give them the possibility to do something, they just don't know what to do. And this is really strange, because how does it come that nowadays children change exactly in the opposite? So this is one of the things that is observed. The next is that some children are unable to interact with other children. They don't know how, so we could say they actually lack social skills. And what it means is that they don't know how to interact, they don't know how to address another person, they don't know how to speak with another child. When it comes to adults, at the younger ages, it's easier for the children, but when it comes to other children, there's really a change happening in how they interact. Then also we see that they are unable to speak well. So even though there's so much language done with children, some children are really having problems to express themselves. And then we also see that they are unable to control their own feelings. So it's interesting, like about 20 years back, we didn't hear from so many children who have been outbursting angers at the age of 4 or 5, who are uncontrolled in their emotions, who are frustrated and they really can't handle it. So this tendency is also becoming more. The question is, what is happening? So now, of course, there are many things happening. But one that I would like to point out to you is, because that's important also for parents, you might go to a doctor who is not aware about that, and it might be also that he gives a diagnosis of autism to your child at a very early age. It can be right, of course, doctors are the ones who have the right and who know what it is, but also we have to look out for this coming up information of Pseudo-Autism, which is coming from doctors who look a little bit ahead, because they're wondering, how can a 2-year-old child have these problems already? And so what it comes down to it is that they say there's a high influence by TV, by gadget, by phones. So children are becoming way too early phones in their hands. They have gadgets and all kind of digital medias around them. So already at the baby age, at the age of 1. So some children show certain reactions already at the age of 2. So this is when you can already see this child is different than other children, especially when it comes to social behavior and working together. So what we need to understand is that the first 6 years in life are really very, very important for the brain development. We can say that 90% of the brain growth happens in these 6 years. So this is why it's very important to provide proper surrounding. So in case you notice your child might be too much on gadget, TV and the phone, please reduce it. That's very important. This is one message I'd like to give you, because that's important for the future of your child. The child's brain is just not able at this age to really do something productive with the information that you give. The second is, also see that you compensate and see that as a mother or a father you're preventative in all of that, looking that your child has enough of movement, looking that there's a lot of sensory stimulation, so engagement with people, so very important, have meals together, when children eat, when they interact with other people, that's really important. Play is very important. Whenever the child figures something out on their own, they grow. Then also the interaction and the togetherness with other people. It helps the child to develop social skills, and this is one of the lacking tools that we have. On the other side, we also have children need communication. They need someone to speak with them. They need to have activities. They need to have activities together with another person. They want to have the stimulation of senses. So all of this has to be taken care. So we speak about a holistic education that can help prevent this kind of pseudo-autism to come into place and maybe be one of your child's or our children's basic problems that they are facing at a very young age. So for teachers it also means to re-establish the setup of a play group, of a preschool, so that already in very early years many different holistic inputs are given to the child so that they can relax and adjust to certain conditions. So please be aware about pseudo-autism. Yeah, it might be real autism if you get the diagnosis as a parent, but it could also be that. So your doctor will be very careful in giving you such a diagnosis because it's a shock. And then also it means that there's something to do if you have such a diagnosis. Always see that you start engaging with your child, remove the phone, remove the gadgets, take them away for a certain while, see if something is changing. See that your child is doing more movement, that it is engaged in a group, that it's playing with other children, that you are engaging with your child more intensely. So when you see kind of a pseudo-autism coming up at a very young age, it's important as a mother and as a father that you do something, because when you do something, then you're able to help your child to grow up in a very natural and enjoyable way, and can also be a part of the community, the class, the coming years in a very normal way. This is my recommendation for you today. If you want to get more recommendations, please subscribe here. We will be putting out more and more over these next times. At least once a week you will hear something from us. So please don't forget to press the subscribe button so that you're informed. Also you can click the bell beside, because then you will become a notification to do so. If you have any special questions, please write them in the comment so that we can come back to you and we can also address your ideas for our next talks. So please let us be interactive parents, and let's figure out and understand the world that your child is at the present moment in and it's facing. I'm very happy to see you again. Bye, have a good day.